various different positions. I am very excited about this session, as knowing your vision, exploring your vision has been something that I tend to refocus and revisit quite often. Before we get started, I just want to start with a centering activity. And I just want you to take a minute to clear your mind of other things that may be going on, whether it's your day or things that's in your surrounding. And I want you to take a nice deep breath in, inhale, and exhale, and inhale again, and exhale again. And I want you to close your eyes for a second. And I want you to think of something that you've been working on or working towards, or a vision that you have. And I want you to really think really hard about seeing yourself in this vision, achieving this vision, and moving through this vision. I want you to see, smell, taste, and just really imagine what the end result would look like for you. When you've got a good picture in your head, I would like you to then open your eyes. And we're going to take one more deep breath in. And exhale. And we're going to get started. So a little bit about this presentation. The purpose of this presentation is to focus on visions. How to take your goals and work towards making them reality. We will discuss a step-by-step process to make vision board. It can be used both in your personal life or as a therapeutic modality with your clients. I'm going to focus a little bit today on both. More so, examples are going to be through my personal visions. And then we're going to talk a little bit more about how to introduce such topics to your clients. Vision boards can be used monthly, weekly, or even daily. Now, it may seem silly to make a vision board for something daily, or for some people even monthly or weekly. Most people tend to make vision boards for the year or for a longer period of time. However, as recreational therapists, we tend to have to do things to adapt regular activities and programs to meet the needs of our clients, make them person-centered, and just really explore what's going on in our population. So I want you to keep that in mind when making these boards. If you have someone that's in a subacute, that is a short-term stay, you may not want to make a vision board that's going to take them a year to accomplish. You want to make something tangible and something that they can really feel like they're working towards in a short period of time. So please keep that in mind as we proceed. Now, here's just a quick example of what a vision board could look like. This is not necessarily one that we would see all the time, but this just kind of focuses on your vision, and it gives you ideas, education. There can be different strategies. It can require courage or motivation and success. So a lot of individuals' vision boards really do include some of these components. And some of these things are definitely used on a regular basis to work towards people's visions. Vision boards is a collage of images and words representing a person's wishes or goals. It's intended to serve as inspiration and motivation. And I really want us to focus on those two words, inspiration and motivation. Say it to yourself again, inspiration and motivation. We know that When we're working on things that are important to us, sometimes we may get discouraged and we may need something to remotivate us, to inspire us to keep going, to refocus our attention. So the vision board process is intended to serve as such, an inspiration or a motivation. Now, does the process of a vision board, a collage of pictures, sound familiar to you? It sounds pretty familiar to me. Now, if you think about a collage, which is a piece of art that's made by sticking various different materials, such as a photograph and pieces of paper or fabric, to a backing. I want you to keep in mind through this process, although they may be very similar, vision boards are meant to serve as what? Inspiration and motivation. Whereas a collage, which may be mistaken for a vision board or vice versa, is really meant to be a piece of art. And it's made by sticking various materials together. It can be random, it can be things that are similar. It may not have as much meaning and definition as a vision board. And we'll get to that a little further as we continue. Now, here's an example of a collage, something about traveling. And this one can just be random things that are picked out. There's luggage tags, there's stamps, books, pictures, cameras, an airplane, a map, a backpack, a globe. And these are all things that make people think about traveling. A bicycle, shades, shoes, maybe that's a monument. I see a piece of the Statue of Liberty back there. So when you think of traveling, you can pull out all these things, and commonly in recreation, we may have our residents make collages. We may have it just be an art activity. Sometimes it can be on a square piece of paper. Sometimes it can be cut out in a letter. So let's say we use a big letter L and we want to put all the things that we like or love in this collage. And we use it as a piece of art. We may display it in a public area for people to see and what we were working on. And we may be able to do it through a whole word. It might be the whole word love. It may be something that we do during Valentine's Day, and it may show pictures that symbolize things of love, but it's really meant to be artwork, and it's really meant to be displayed for everyone. It's more of something that's impersonal. It doesn't have that special meaning to one individual. Now, how do we use vision boards as a therapeutic modality? So a modality, which is also known as an intervention, are services used to achieve the desired outcome of the client being served. So a therapeutic modality is something that we're going to use as an intervention, again, for that particular person. It's going to be person-centered. It's going to be individualized for that one person, preferably something that can't be used or that won't be identical for more than one person. We're going to try and make it as individualized and personalized as possible. So for example, where a group can do a collage and they can all work towards doing a travel collage where they're all cutting out pictures towards a similar idea or a theme, a vision board should be person-centered, and that's going to serve as a motivation for that person to help achieve their goals. So although one person may have similar pictures to another person, it shouldn't be identical, and it shouldn't be something that's shared. Therapeutic modalities. Vision boards can be used with any population as a therapeutic modality. Can you name a few populations and why it would work? Think about the population you work with. Vision boards for seniors? Is that possible? Absolutely. For children, of course. For subacute, as well as long-term residents. Because these therapeutic modalities are going to be what? person-centered. They're going to work towards this one person's goal. It's going to be so specific and so intended for this one person that it can absolutely work. So we're going to get started, but first we're going to talk about a little history. Now, vision board history. Vision boards have been used for many years, but really became popular in the 2000s because of The Secret. Does anybody remember The Secret? This book highlighted the law of attraction, which promotes that great things can be accompanied through positive thinking. So, are we seeing a correlation already between vision boards and The Secret? Vision boards are meant to serve as what? Inspiration and motivation. And The Secret speaks about the law of attraction, how the things that we think about are the things that we become. The things that we believe and we put into our mindset are the things that we accomplish. Sounds very similar to me. Throughout the years, vision boards continued to trend. In the beginning of the year, it feels like everyone was working on completing one. They have helped people focus or refocus on their goals and start the new year with a fresh vision. Now remember, we mentioned that although vision boards are traditionally or mostly used as a year beginning activity, it does not mean that as recreational therapists, we cannot adapt the use of a vision board for a shorter period of time. We have to be able to change it around to help our residents or our clients, participants set therapeutic modalities that are person-centered for them. And I keep mentioning person-centered therapeutic modalities and motivation because these are the main things that we want to focus on when completing and having a successful vision board project. So let's get started. I really would love if you all were to participate in this activity. This activity was really designed to be an interactive experience. I wanted everyone to have a magazine or words or word art, and I wanted us to do it together. So we're gonna work on doing it. I'm also gonna allot some time at the end for you to work on completing it. So if you need to pause the session to get some materials together, that would be amazing, because I would really love if you can send me some of the things that you did after so I can see how you worked on it, or for you to at least do the brainstorming activity so you can get an idea of what exactly you would like to work on and how you can work on it. And then you should brainstorm what are some of the things you think your different clients may need to work on, so that when you're gathering magazines and material for the activity, you can be prepared to have this ready for them to do. So when we're going to start with making our vision boards, the first area you want to work on is setting your goals and priorities. Okay, so as we begin the process to make our vision boards, I would really like for everyone to, as I mentioned, to write at least the goals down if you're not going to go through the whole process. I want you to take a minute to reflect on your goals. This is where we set our goals and priorities. When we think of goals, most of us normally have a vague idea of something that we want to do. We think about things that may make us happy or things that we want to achieve, but I want you to really, really take some time to come up with the specifics. I want you to make sure that you are on track and that you understand what exactly you want your outcome to look like. This is really important when we work with our clients as well as when we work with ourselves. We want to make sure that the goals are clear and concise, and we have the exact idea of what we want. Having specific goals and setting priorities helps us to stay on track when we're working towards our vision. And we want to come up with a plan in our head of concrete steps on how we can achieve these things. So when our vision board is complete, just by looking at the visions that we see on our board and giving us that visualization, we are able to automatically think of the steps and the things that we need to make sure that we accomplish our goals. So part of this brainstorming, so to speak, process is to think about questions before you start your board. You want to think about, what are you really trying to achieve? How do you feel about achieving these things? Is this going to make your life any better? You want it to be something that's worth a lot to you and something that you really value, because you really want to hope that you can accomplish these things. And that's the purpose of going through all of these steps, to ensure that we're doing something that we will really, really work through and come out with a good outcome. Not just to see the board and say, oh, that would be nice to do, but we really want to take the time to set our priorities and goals. So in setting your priorities and goals, I have here a picture of how I started. I started by gathering my magazines. I did jot down some stuff on my priorities and goals, but I'm sorry, it's not on here in specific. However, I pulled out some magazines that I thought that I would be able to get some good information from, and started gathering my tools to start my project. Of course, you're going to need some kind of backing, scissors, glue, any other doodads or arts and crafts. You can use paint, you can use markers, you can use crayons. It just really depends on what you want your board to look like and how much work you're willing to put in. I will tell you that I prefer words. So most of my board does have a lot of words because they tend to motivate and inspire me and speak towards my specific goal that I'm working towards. So do you have all your stuff ready? Do you have your magazine, your glue, your scissors, your backing, your paper? I always pick a vibrant backing for my vision board because I want it to stick out. Normally, most of the time, the clippings and artwork that we cut out, or the pictures, I should say, and the words that we cut out may not cover the entire sheet. So I prefer not to use a white or blank white paper. I prefer to use something with color. So when I'm passing it, it will catch my eye, it will draw my attention, and it'll give me a chance and encourage me to refocus on what I'm working on. So as we move on to making our board, we're going to help create a basic structure for your vision. Now, in creating a basic structure, you did already set your goals and your priorities. Your structure should help you to answer big questions on what you want, and help break down your big questions into smaller questions and more fine-tune and identify things that you want to do. What experiences you want to get from doing your board is something that you want to think about. Though the whole act of actually putting together the vision board is a great beginning to working towards your goal. If you really take the time to research what you're putting on your paper and how you're setting your goals, it does help you in the long run to accomplish what your dream is or whatever your goal is that you're working towards. Okay, so it can be something like if you're working towards a relationship goals, you want to think about the things that you have to do. Yes, you may want to have a wedding ring, or you may want to say you want to get married, but you want to think about those basic things that you may have to do to prepare yourself to be ready for something like that. So this is also a part of the process. This is also something that when we sit down and discuss with our clients on a one-to-one basis, it's definitely something we want to bring out in discussion. Why they want to work on it, what they want to work on, or if they're not ready, willing to share, we definitely can ask probing questions and encourage them to jot down what they want to work towards and why, so they can have that really focused board and can be something tangible. And also setting realistic goals. We want to ensure that our residents, our clients, as well as ourselves, are setting up goals that we can actually obtain, because there's no reason in setting an outlandish board on things that we may not be able to obtain. You have to be able to preferably be something realistic, preferably be something that we can obtain, something that's tangible, something that we can experience. So right here, don't laugh at my handwriting and my little drawing. I was just thinking about how I want my board to look. And I knew that I wanted the center of the board to be something about me or something that I'm working towards, and also incorporate the main goal. And then there'll be little areas that's shooting off to the side that would be things that will help me attain my goal, or things that I want to be included in my vision and my theme. And as we get further along, I'm going to share with you some of the things on my vision board, and you'll see more of how this comes together. So take a second and write down, jot down what your structure should look like, what you want to see happen. Where are you in this picture? Are you at the top and you're working your way down through things, or are you at the bottom and you're working your way up? Like, really think about what you want this to look like. Okay, now step 3, you're gonna write down your goals. So we did a lot of brainstorming, we jotted some stuff down, but now I want you to really look through your goals and write down your goals and your ideas, very specific and detailed. Now would be the time to decide if you're focusing, where your focus is. Do you have a lot of things on here that you want to achieve? Are you putting the whole kitchen sink in there? Or are you really working on one particular thing at a time? Be mindful that you can always do more than one vision board, which is fine, which is something we may need to encourage our residents to do or our clients to do, not to just have one big board with a whole bunch of things that we want to see happen. Maybe make it in baby steps. Very specific, very intentional, and very short term so that we can work on achieving it. So you really want to focus on the specific goals. If you want to go on a dream vacation within the next few years, or dream vacations, do you want to list all the places you want to go, or do you just want to pick one and work towards that first one and make that one board about that one particular vacation or experience or thing that you want to do? So here is, again, don't laugh at my little diagram. Here is a little bit more as I expand it. And I will tell you, I did change it up, and you'll find that sometimes as you start, your end result is not exactly what you intended. Once you start putting your ideas and your thoughts together, it can be an amazing experience. You can really figure out how to narrow it down, so to speak, on the things that you just want to work on at the time. So I have me in the middle, and I have my main goal, which I'm going to share as we go along. And I have working out, family time, to feed my mind and to make good choices, to eat healthier, and to be happy. Now, when I initially started this process, these are the things that I figured that I would want to work towards. And that those are things that can be tangible to me. So This is where you try and form your vision. This is where you get your stuff together and think about exactly how you want your board to look. Now, very differently from a collage, which we mentioned before, you may not go through this step. Once you collect all of your materials, you can just put them together, stick them anywhere, put them wherever they fit, wherever there's space on the page. But that's the difference between a vision board. When you work on your vision board, you want to be very intentional with the placement of your words, of your pictures, of anything, your artwork, anything that you're going to put on your board. And it means more to you when you work on it that way. So now is the fun part. We've done the brainstorming, we formulated our ideas and our goals. Now we want to work on finding the images for our board. We want to work on what our board should look like. Where are we getting these images from, and what exactly it's going to look like. So now is when we start to cut out. So I'm going to give you a few minutes. I'd like you to take a few minutes and start to cut out some pictures to put our board together. Cut out pictures, cut out words, and don't worry, it doesn't have, everything you cut out, you don't necessarily have to use on this board. What I found was I cut out a bunch of stuff, and as I started to really fine tune how I wanted my board to look, a lot of the stuff I did not use or I put aside to formulate another vision board. So start cutting out your stuff and let's see where we're going to put everything and how we're going to arrange it. Now I know as we find images and words for our board, typically this is something that's done one time. We'll go through some magazines, but when we're working with our clients, with our residents, and we're working them towards getting comfortable with the idea of vision boarding, one of the things we can do is start to cut out things for them on things that we talk about and start to just collect random pictures, words, or ideas. And then when you've collected some and kind of got them accustomed to the process of looking at these things, you may be it may be a great introduction into actually getting them to sit down and work on adding some more stuff to make it person-centered for themselves. So if I were to see, let's say I know one of my residents wanted to work on reading more books, and I saw a picture of books, I would either cut out the word books and bring it to them so that they can have it, on their bulletin board in their room, somewhere by their bed, maybe an envelope with pictures. And then I can say, hey, let's put those pictures and words that we've been collecting for the last couple of weeks or for the week or for the month, depending on how long you're working on this process with them. And let's put those together and make a vision board. And that can be a way you introduce it to them. So here's a picture of some of the things that I collected. And again, I just went through and I pulled out a whole bunch of words that I felt spoke to me as I thought about my theme, which was working on a healthier me. And with that, I thought about all the things that would be a part of making myself healthier and how I could work on achieving those goals. So although this vision board is actually, we're using our hands, we're using scissors, we're using actual cutouts, it's a hands-on project, you can also make a virtual vision board. May not be something you want to do with your clients. Well, if you have higher functioning clients, most of them have tablets or cell phones. It may be something that they would want to do on their own time, but it can also be something that you do personally. It may be something that you want to do and have words and clippings of pictures that you want to work on at work and have it on your screensaver as a part of your vision and your daily inspiration and reminders on what you're working towards. So there's many different ways we can do it. So here I just have magazine clippings, mostly words, just a few pictures, and let's see how it goes. So we're going to sort and arrange your images and words. So you really want, again, how we went back to that screen with me, and then I had the line shooting out with the different things. You really want to sort your images and not just put it together like if it's a collage. You really want it to be strategically placed on your paper to make sure that it's working for you the best way possible. So the next thing I did was I sorted my information and I put them into categories. So I have what healthy me means. I have living, I have the word pudding, I have reaching your health goals, I have a picture of some healthy food, beauty, love, retreat, and then I put certain things together. So there's certain subcategories. With time to refresh, I have brain, I have some words I'm going to cut out there, smart women, bold choices, but I'm just going to use smart choices. Loving you, to retreat and beauty, I have those in an area. Then I have another section. Oh, I think it got cut off on here. I'm sorry. With exercise and fitness stuff. And then I have another section about the mind and the body and the soul, about how to be happy and being confident and having hope. So I started to just divide up the pieces of information that I have that I want to include on my board and separate them out into categories. So when I'm putting my board together, they're not haphazardly scattered, that I'm really, really thinking about where I want this information to be on my board. So we're going to edit and create your board. So once you've gotten everything together, you want to experiment with different designs and find different examples. You can look online, or you can look at maybe something that someone else did. You may want to have always, when you're going into work with your residents, an example of what it can look like, so that they are encouraged to know that it's definitely something that they can work on achieving. You don't want them to feel like it's too hard or too difficult. So you can show them, and especially when you make it personal to you, they realize that it's not just something that you're giving them to do, that it's actually something that you engage in as well. It may make it more inviting to them to give it a try. You want to think about the color of your background again. As you know, I picked out a yellow board because I really wanted it to be vibrant and stick out. So now as you edit and create your board, this is the time to think about these things. Is it going to be flat? Is it going to be textured? Is it something that you want to be able to sit and touch? So, are there going to be raised images on it? You just really, really want to edit your board and start to create and put your board together into being what you want it to be. So here is my first draft of what I wanted my board to look like. I put time to refresh at the top because I really, really had to remind myself that part of the purpose of this board is to remind me to start anew, to refresh for a new beginning, to be confident and to have hope. And I'm kind of reading downward on my board. I wanted to make smart choices. I wanted to focus on beauty. And I also always want to go back and retreat, to take the time to go back. I wanted to work on my body and soul. Then coming across the bottom, I want to be happy and healthy. I want to make sure I was looking for something that says love me, but love you or love yourself. I was going to actually write that in there at the end. I definitely want to have fun. I want to do things with my family. And I have brain here right next to the food because I really wanted it to focus as in brain food, to feed your mind, to give yourself health goals, things you want to work on. And I'm working down the bottom and going up to the top. I like to run. One way to help stay active and fit is to use the stairs more often or to walk places more often. I have a picture of a smartwatch that says workout mix because I love working out to music. There's a bib up there from a running bib, something I also do, and a jump rope. And these are all very obtainable goals. Whereas I didn't just write lose weight and be healthy. I actually put things that are tangible, things that are possible, things that I do to help me, to help remind me that if I'm active and I participate in fitness, it all works towards what healthy living means. And this is, remember, that circle in the middle is what healthy living means to me. So I'm really focusing on me. These are all things that makes my life healthy. So as you can see, I really put some thought into the things that I chose for my board. So once you're settled on the design and you arrange it, and I actually did move this around a few times to really make sure that it was what I wanted, where I wanted, and how I wanted it. Especially everything is circled around what healthy living means. And later on, I added some more things to that. But what healthy living means, it's really the center of my focus on my board. And going around it, the circle of it is really the things that I needed. So once you've secured your board, once you've put everything together, you can also, and I skipped forward to the next slide, but you can also add on anything that makes it special for you. If you want to splash some paint on there, if you want to write in your name on the top, you can also use a picture of yourself. If you wanted a picture of yourself to be in the middle of the board, that could have been done as well. Anything that you want to do to put that fine tune on your board to make sure that it's exactly will make you smile and will make you want to work towards your goals. It will serve as motivation and inspiration, back to those two words, for attaining your goal. You should do it at this time. So I hope that you guys are all up to where I am and you've cut out, you've glued, you put your stuff together and you really pick you've set really good goals and picked some great images to help you motivate you and work towards those goals. The last portion of this is to display your board and focus on it daily. Now, before I show you where I put mine, think about where you would want to put your board or where you would want to put your client's board. Now, remember, if it was a collage, we would put it up for everyone to see. We may put it in a day room or a dining room. We may put it on a bulletin board in the hallway. But this now is your own personal vision, your own personal board. This is just for you. Where would you display yours? Think about it. Well, I should have took the picture a little further back, but I displayed my board on my refrigerator. For various reasons. One, because it was very convenient while I was working on this project to show where it was. But with the making healthy choices and eating well, which is a little portion of what I put on the board. My kitchen, I spent a lot of time in my kitchen and living room area. So it's something that I will see and it will constantly remind me throughout. Some people post it in their bedroom. Some people may post their board on their bathroom mirror as a time to reflect in the beginning of the day. For our residents in a nursing home, I would definitely help them post it on their bulletin boards next to their beds. So even when they're laying in bed, they can actually when they're laying in bed, they can actually sit and look at it. So you want to make sure that it's posted somewhere where they can see it and really reflect on it. I also, if you look in the middle of my board, under where what healthy living means, I also put the number 2 and me, because this is about me and this whole board is about what healthy living means to me. So this wasn't a cutout, these were some actual stickers that I had and I just added in there. I was gonna do some paint, but that's fine for now and it serves the purpose so you can see how it looks. So what's next? Now that we've completed our personal boards and we've got an idea of what the process looks like, I hope you guys are as excited as I am to have completed my board. And this is something that I want to work on. And I want to work on healthy living as we get into the summer months, as we come out of some of the COVID experiences. I really want to focus on what healthy living looks like to me. It's something that I'm prepping on as I enter my birth month in July. So I really am gonna leave this up on my refrigerator and focus on it and look at it to help me get into a more healthier lifestyle, a more healthier me as I prepare for later on this year in the future. And it will definitely serve as a motivation and inspiration to me. But as far as what's next, it's time for us to come up with a plan and discuss a little bit more in detail what we can do with our clients and our residents and how we can make this a therapeutic modality for them. So making this into a program for your population. You want to brainstorm your pitch. You want to make sure that you are ready to sell the benefits of vision boarding to your population. So part of me asking you to participate and actually do this project and really educating you on the difference between a collage and a vision board is because I wanted you to really understand the process so that when you're introducing it to your population, it's definitely something that you can sell to them. And I say sell because I feel like if you just say, hey, do you want to cut out some pictures and work on your vision? Some people may be like, oh, no, I'm okay. I don't do arts and crafts. But if you really hype the clientele up and motivate them on how this project can work towards motivating them, they may be more inclined and encouraged to participate. And something as simple as that one big word that you start to post up on their bulletin board in their room that you talk about every time you come in the room during a one-to-one, and then you can work on choosing more words to the point where they're ready to actually put together their vision and put it on paper. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a one-shot deal, one single process. It's definitely something that you can work on throughout time and over a period of time. So there goes the gathering of the materials. If you have a resident that is into sports or activities or what have you, into rehab, you may want to collect the rehab catalog so you can get pictures of walkers or wheelchairs or whatever it is that this person is going to be working towards, or you think that their goals may be from speaking to them. So you want to make sure you start to pull these things out. You want to assist the clients with exploring possible goals. So even in pulling things out, you want to start to talk to them and encourage them to be specific in what their goals are, to be intentional. You want to help prep the materials again, if necessary. And when I say help prep the materials, I don't only mean gather in the magazines. For some of your clients, they may be able to verbalize what they want to do, but they may not have the functioning the gross motor skills, or the fine motor skills, I should say, to put together an actual project. So you may actually have to do the work of cutting out and pasting and situating the picture on the page and the words on the page to get the person motivated into doing it. You may actually have to do it with them and for them as a project. So once this is all done, all that's left to do is to give it a try. Now, in my experience from doing vision boards, every time I do it with someone different, it works out better. I find a new way to approach it. I find different things that I want to encourage them. I find different ways that I can sell the ideas. So it's something that gets better with age. Even when I do my own vision boards, I feel like each board is more intentional, more defined, more of something that I can work with. Sometimes I paste pictures over pictures because things are complete or because I need an extra word. And I always try and leave a little space on my boards and not make them exactly full, because there are things that you can add to as you go along with times. Now that you have everything together, like I said, you give it a try and you work out the kinks for future programs. It is trial and error. It's definitely experience. It's definitely a learning curve. I mean, it sounds simple enough, but the more intentional and the more detailed you get, the more intricate it'll be, the more time consuming it can be. So it doesn't have to be a quick project. It can be something that is done over a course of time. So I wanted to share with you some of the references that I used to put this together, how to create an empowering vision board. And this was an internet article or a vision book. Then there's, well, the audio, I use an audio book as well. Dream It, Pin It, Live It, Make Vision Boards Work for You. And that's on Kindle. I believe there's a hard copy as well. You can look. And why a vision boarding might help you get through the rest of 2020. And this was something that was written, article that was written during the pandemic, that was given ideas on how to use vision boards to get through it. I know there's a lot of healing, a lot of refocusing of intentions and goals that people are doing this year as they've experienced a global pandemic, and that as they've had so many things change and happen in their lives. I found this article particularly interesting on how they use vision boards to help through that process. I want to thank you for bearing with me. Again, this has been the most difficult session that I've ever had to put together. I really hope that you follow through the steps and let it work for you and your residents, your clients. And thank you very much for your attention. The only thing I didn't include here was my email address. If you had any further questions, or if you wanted to share something that you worked on, or share a picture of your vision board, I love that. My email address is Carolyn Franklin, CarolynFranklin at AOL, I'm sorry, Carolyn Franklin, CTRS at AOL.com. That's Carolyn Franklin, CTRS at AOL.com. Again, I thank you for participating, for listening to this session. I hope it's beneficial to you and your clients, and have an amazing, amazing day. Thank you.